We're frozen on my screen.
There we go. Now we should be good. What's up, Lola Curtis? Am I the only one that can't hear? You can hear now. It should now be active. Actually, Candy, say hello real quick. Okay.
Hello.
We're here with Candy and Kat to talk about I'm going to my first comic convention.
Hello.
See, there is the book. It's a real thing.
It's pages and everything.
So are these actually I should you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves first. These people should know who you are, but you
Okay,
go first,
Candy.
Candy.
Okay. Okay. The writer of the book, and oh, that's right. I have a blog. Hi, what do I do? Geekmonos.com. I blog, and I used to have a costume store, and now I don't. I'm off to a good start here.
It was an awesome costume store.
All right, Cat's turn.
I'm the illustrator of the book, and I have an Instagram and Facebook page. It's called That Nerdy Mom, but on Instagram it is technically That Nerdy Mom 24. But anyway, um, so we have just kind of been in different groups, like with GAM and with their events and cosplay, and I've done a lot of the art throughout the years, like um, for the contest or the charity auction. And it's always been like a passion of mine and a hobby. And then me and Candy were in the same group, and she was looking for an illustrator, and she was like, I need someone who will understand me. And so I was really
Don't
lucky
we
when
all
she.
though? Don't we
That's
all?
true.
It's all we're
True. But it's especially hard when you're a mom and you're also enjoying conventions.
We in the red light district.
So she reached out, and I was super lucky about that. So I got to be a part of this wonderful book.
Hold on 1 second. Ted is saying Candy's audio is really quiet. This is the first time I think in your life, Candy, that your voice is dropping.
What everyone always says I'm quiet in real life, so I would expect my audio to be quiet.
I want you to yell like you've had 5 drinks, Candy.
Really bad about being loud.
You're good. You're good. So one thing that go ahead.
Huh?
I don't know. We're all talking to you. It's fine. One of the weird things about you guys working together, I think I kind of remember when Kat was starting to get more actually not just being an artist but also being online. And I want to say like both you guys were like fighting over like the same name. Or like both of y'all were like both it was like so similar, and I was like, I think they're both like nerdy moms. I don't know who's gonna get it. I don't know.
I went with Geeky Mom. She went with Nerdy Mom.
Yeah.
Different. See, you've cornered different sections, which is good.
You know what? That's really funny you brought that up, because there was this point a couple years ago where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna post something every day and like challenge myself and actually share my art. And when I came up with my name and then I saw your name, I was like, okay, what is the exact definition in different people's opinions of nerd and geek? Like, are they that different? I don't know.
Nerd and geek?
Is one more like...
I think a nerd's typically like smarter and a geek is more fun. Is that how?
See, that's what I was wondering too.
Which is funny because I was more of a nerd, like in school and stuff. But you know, I think geek, you think comic books, Star Wars, you know, all the stuff that I love, and conventions, and so I went with the geek instead of the nerd thing. But I think it all goes together.
It does. It's all the same. It's just sometimes people want to put things in different boxes.
Boxes, yes.
So, well, I'm glad you guys got to working together. I know I personally have met a lot of people over the years that they look up to you a lot, Candy, and like to work with you. And I don't know if it was like this for Kat. I know it was like this for me. Is like it's kind of intimidating at first. Like you're like, oh, like is this gonna talk to me. Like she's not got time for me. Look at how many followers she has. This
Yeah.
like that kind of fear. And I've heard people talk to me about it before talking to you or reaching out to you. But that never seems to actually be the case. Like everybody, then afterwards, like, oh my god, she's so nice. Like she went and did this, and this. Like she's not like that at all.
Yeah, I don't think of myself like that or anything. Yeah, I'm just normal and awkward and happy if people talk to me. I don't know.
Let's see. Ted says that is like what is the difference between Trekkie and Trekker. I don't know enough about Star Trek, but I believe Ted because he is wise.
But I thought, or well, I don't think geek and nerd would be the same as Trekkie and
You
Trekker.
speak up a little bit,
Oh,
Candy.
Oh, am I still being quiet?
Yeah,
you
sorry.
got louder.
There you
I
go.
think it was maybe how close you are.
That's good. No.
Charlie Larson says I got my book yesterday and it's awesome.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm so glad to hear that because we had one book that one of our first people got and an extra page in it from another book.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Random book page.
Was it
random
like
book.
an adult page or was it still okay?
No,
Oh
it's a
gosh.
kid's book, but
Okay.
it was about how Hudson had gotten over his bug and he wasn't sick anymore or something. So there is like a book out there with a poor sick kid and with a real cliffhanger at the end.
It's the best advertising you ever could have done. It's like I'm just gonna put the cliffhanger in the middle of another book, and they're like, "What happened to this kid? I have to find out."
Wait till book
Yeah,
2.
so just one book ended up like that. So we got the order of books in yesterday, and they all look good. And they
Mhm.
were actually getting together this weekend because we're going to do a live reading at the WasabiCon online
Awesome.
Saturday at 2:30. I hope I have that right.
Live reading
Yeah,
on
that sounds right.
Hobbycon.
Saturday at 2:30, and so we're
Mhm.
going to do live reading, and we're getting together, and we're going to do sign the books and send them out to all the wonderful people who helped us out with the GoFundMe. That gave us the little kickstart we needed to make this book and keep going because there are so many times like through the whole COVID thing, and conventions being
God.
canceled that it was just like I'm ready to, you know, give up. And but I was like, oh my god, people gave us money. And
Now you have to do it. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was still going on. To be honest, because a few other people hit me today and yesterday. They were like, "Oh my god, I didn't know they were doing like a GoFundMe or Kickstarter or whatever it was.
I feel
Like that, I
like
would have put money into it." And I was like, "Well, go ahead, Kat. Sorry."
no, you're good. I feel like there were just so many things that popped up and some of it of course COVID was huge, but like
Mm-hmm.
some of it was life. I remember at one point my laptop got water damaged and I freaked out. Um
Ooh.
I remember taking it to my computer guy, and he said somebody up there must really like you because somehow, even though it was soaked, it like somehow magically dried. So I remember messaging Candy and being like, "Hey, I know we're working on this page, but I just hope my laptop is alive, or I'm gonna have to." It was just things like that, and things with the kids.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I
then
think
we cut the GoFundMe off short. I mean, it really wasn't up. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. It says.
We're still hearing
you
you
look good,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. A warning just popped up on my screen, like, ah.
If it goes bad, we'll just like pretend like, oh no, you can help save Candy's life by buying the book at
Yay.
tinyurl.com/firstcomic.
Yeah, so we cut the GoFundMe off when all the coronavirus stuff
Yeah.
started going on because it felt kind of wrong to keep asking, like, oh, help us with this book. Oh, you lost your job. So
Yeah.
we were just like, hey, we got this amount of money. We obviously can't go with our whole thing where we were going to go with that one publisher and
Yeah.
that was going to cost thousands of dollars. And I'm actually really glad that we didn't. Like, I think the book would have turned out differently if someone else had control of it.
Yeah.
And we were kind of forced to take control of the whole project and learn how to do it all ourselves. And so now I know how to put together a children's book, and
Yep.
I learned all kinds of new stuff on Photoshop, and I've been using Photoshop for a long time, but I never invested in the newest version. And 2020 is pretty awesome, and it does all magical things, and I love it. And so I was glad to get to know new stuff, and so I was actually really glad to put it together, and I look forward to putting together our second one.
That's awesome. So you actually did I guess the
Editing.
layout and the editing and the book like in conjunction, like so.
Made all the pictures fit, and because we were doing the GoFundMe, we started with a different size, and so we
Yeah.
Oh God.
and so we had all these different pictures because I was like, go with it, just start drawing, you know. So we had all these different sizes, and at the end, I was just like, well, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make this thing fit because we're getting this out by October.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
I want to take a step back for a second, and you mentioned earlier how you were telling Kat, I need somebody who understands me, who gets me. Like, how did that meeting come about, or what happened? And
well, I had the idea for the book, and initially I was like, oh, well, let's see, maybe I can draw these pictures, and I did. And anyway, the blog post is on geekmamas.com right now, which shows one of my lovely stick figure drawings that conveys my idea.
I'm looking for that right now. Where is it?
My own.
On geekmamas.com?
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. You keep talking.
I was like, I need another geek mama to help me out, someone who's an artist, because I was like, I can't just go on Fiverr and hire someone because I'm going to be describing these, this convention.
Funny situations.
Yeah.
They're going to know what I'm talking about. They're not going to, and I also wanted to involve like our local scene in it. And they don't know, our local scene or anything. And so I started thinking about people, who I always saw out at the same conventions that I was going to, and artists who sat up and and we had a meeting, and I was like, here's my stick figure drawing. I totally know what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah.
And I had the book written out with little descriptions after each thing of how I pictured the page to go, and she drew up the things that I was thinking, and I was like, yep, that's what was
That's all. And so, Kat, how did you feel at first, like when Candy like approached you with this? Because I don't think you've never put together like a book before.
Well,
like I know you've done a lot of art.
I actually did put a book together, and the way it happened, I was probably like 18, and I was working this job for security, and I was really bored, and I would play with paint on the computer, and I would draw these elaborate pictures with a mouse on paint, and I got caught
Holy crap.
by a coworker, and she was like, oh, I thought I was going to get in trouble. And then she approaches me a little bit later, and she's like, so I wrote this book for a college class. Do you think you could illustrate it for me?
What?
So
That's great.
but it was like, it was about fish, and they were teaching kids how to count, and it just seemed like a little passion project of hers. And I think they actually had it at Chamblin's for a really short while. But that was, over 10 years ago. And I kind of felt like I had to take a big break from drawing, but I was trying to get back into it, like I had mentioned. And when Candy had reached out to me, I remember being like, kind of like what you were saying, like, oh, she's really cool. Like, she's really like, I guess I in a weird way felt a little starstruck, and she was like, "Oh, I want you to draw this." I'm like, "Oh, well, I was really flattered." And when we met, it was at that jump place for kids. Yeah, Jump Street. So the kids are going crazy.
Was Johnny Depp there?
Yes.
What?
He was there.
Well, that's controversial.
Cartoon. So exactly like she said, she was like showing me these sketches, and like I could just picture it because
picture it the way it was supposed to.
Huh?
I said, picture it the way it was supposed to be.
I saw the stick figures and they came to life. I understood.
I'm scrolling through your posts right now, Candy, trying to find that drawing.
The top pinned post. If you click
Oh,
Oh, the top pin
the very
post?
top.
Dang it,
Yeah.
I skipped through all this stuff.
Oh
right
no.
there, just go into that first post and scroll down, and there will be a lovely. I think the best.
Oh, I see it.
Chewbacca.
Oh, this is on point. Look, I can tell you. There's Chewbacca, so like we had to get that in there.
I think she's got a nice shape on her.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
This one girl on the right is stacked, Candy. What are you doing there? Like, my God. That's so awesome to see it come from this. Like, here's my idea, and Kat's like, "Yeah, I got it."
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Adam Chitani says, "Congrats on your first book and cheers, cheers!"
Thank you.
I'm lifting my glass up. I'm
Cheers.
drinking.
Cheers.
Danny says hello. Says ladies. Ryan, hey guys. Tia says, "Whoop whoop! Awesome job, ladies. Congrats on your first book."
Thank you, Tia.
Yeah.
So, I've tried to steal as many images as I could off the internet of your of your book. I will be getting it off Amazon because now that after we talked, like, oh, I can do that Kindle thing. So, tell me a little bit about the actual story, Candy. So, this is your idea and your baby.
Yeah. So it's about a little boy who is going to his first Comic-Con, and he's excited about all the things that he's going to see. And so he's kind of going through all the stuff that he's going to do. And, he, let's see, that's the first thing I said to Kat was like, so he's waking up in bed and he's imagining these superheroes, and, and she nailed it. He's waking up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I said I want it to look like my son, but it's not a story about, we're it's not like Keelan wakes up and he does this. I was like, it's just, it could be any little boy, but of course.
Can I just say that the cosplay when like he's waking up is extremely difficult. The guy who's like on molten lava fire. I'm like, how is he pulling that off?
So, okay, I'm thinking how do I need to make them superheroes, but they can't look like actual superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, okay, they also have to be kid friendly. And so I just made it
a tiny little, what is that, like little loincloth on?
That's
Yeah.
risque.
Yeah.
He's like the Hulk / Blanca.
But
I think Josh
kinda-
inspired him.
There is actually a picture of what looks like Josh in there. Did you find it?
No.
Well, it's funny because there's a few things that were probably in my mind when I was drawing it, but I was like, no, don't do that. And he's flipping. He's like, is that me? I'm like, well, maybe. I was.
That she did get Chewbacca in there.
Hey.
Yeah.
Chewbacca.
No, it's not Chewbacca. It's
just hairy guy.
But-
yes.
Bigfoot.
There you go. Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot with a gun.
Bigfoot's got a gun.
Okay, sorry, I completely derailed you, Candy. So he was waking up in the morning and he's all excited.
Well, yeah, well, and then he just goes through all the things that he's gonna see, and since this book is for kids, I did skip over the bars and the late night drinking.
There you go.
Well, no, it's
That's for book 2.
Yeah, drink to that.
But yeah. So wait. So which one? Where's Josh snuck in?
It's one where it looks like Zoe too.
Well, oh wait. Well, Zoe's on.
Zoe, the one where I don't want to say the exact costume that
wait.
she might be wearing. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, good call on not saying it. Look at Josh.
The funny thing is, it wasn't really supposed to be Josh. It was just like,
okay.
okay, I'm gonna
Like
put in.
It's
So he's
loosely inspired by.
We have
Yes.
several inspired
Yes.
by pictures in the book, which was, one of the neat things about doing it with Kat is that she knew the local people.
The scene.
And also, we had a special thing with our. Like we had a level, we did levels like Kickstarter, but we did it on GoFundMe, and the reason why we did that was because with Kickstarter it's an all or nothing
Yeah.
thing. And we were like, we're gonna do this whether we get all the money or not. It was kind of like we're going into this,
Yeah.
and if we don't get the money, we're still gonna do it. So
Mhm.
that's when we went with the GoFundMe, but we had imagined all these Kickstarter levels. So one of them, one of the donation levels was to get drawn into the book.
Oh yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
so the girl who got that level is Katie Reed, and she does a series called The Wizard and the Lizard. So she is also a kids book author, and she is actually right here.
Okay. That's
Yep.
interesting you bring that up because I saw her and I was like, she looks really familiar, but I couldn't quite. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, she was excited to be in the book because she also likes to.
Yeah,
I
so
think she likes Lord of the Rings and
Yep.
things like.
and she goes to, I think it's Phoenix Comic Con that
Mm.
she goes to. I think that's the one.
Mhm.
And she said that she'll be missing the live stream tonight. She'll have to watch it later because they're playing D&D tonight. So
Ah,
Oh, that's awesome.
perfect.
I don't want to interrupt that. So
Then hey, Katie, when you watch this later,
yes,
thanks.
Hey.
So
much.
happy I got to draw you.
Yes, I remember when that donation came in. It was just like, wow, people really believe in this.
Yeah.
Dave Morales says also congrats on the book, y'all. And
Thank
he also
you.
says, "Hey, Josh is my hero." Adam Chitani says, "The kids gotta know." It's funny that you mentioned that because that's kind of like how GAM started. I remember we had a Kickstarter and that failed miserably.
Oh,
Like we barely got
no.
any money on that book at all.
Wait, for the very first GAM, there was a Kickstarter?
Yeah, for the first GAM, because it was going to be, it was actually supposed to concentrate more on a book, like an
What?
art book.
I had no idea.
It was going to be an art book called "Every Move is Special," and it was dedicated to the moves from Street Fighter. And yeah, I think I got like maybe $200 or $300. And like part of the book was gonna be, oh yeah, we'll do this event thing to go with it. And it'll be like this art gallery and blah blah blah. And like 6 people were like, that's a good idea. Everyone else like, nah, fuck that. And,
Oh my god.
but
So it
it's
was
like
going to be a book and you actually got everything else to become the main attraction.
yeah, like a completely reverse. Because we were gonna focus on getting the book because a lot of us wanted to. We were artists.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we want to create this book, but we also want to do all this other stuff. But the Kickstarter portion was like, well, let's focus on the book because that's like the tangible thing. That's something people we can deliver it anywhere, blah blah blah. But it was like the worst video I ever made. It was like I think I recorded like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, so I think we want to do this thing, and it was just bad. It was bad, but similar.
Look where you are now.
Yeah, now I'm trapped in this COVID room. But no, but stories like yours inspires me because I hear that really resonates with me. Because I'm like, yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter if you have the idea, you're willing to put the work in. You just have to see it to completion. Because even like that goal in itself may not necessarily be the end goal. Like for y'all, like I really hope this is the first book/collaboration for y'all too, and you guys keep like Candy, like hearing you talk about like you working in Photoshop, Candy, and like all the things that you probably learned while doing it and whatnot. I'm like, man, I know if she did another one now, she's already thinking like, oh, here's how I would lay out the pages differently, and we could do this, and I would tell the artist this is size for the pages, or maybe
Well, at least I know the exact size for the pages now.
see like all that stuff, like that's really heartwarming.
Margins and gutters and everything.
Oh my God, you're talking my language, Candy. But so tell me more about.
Speaking of gutters, I was really, really proud of myself the way I lined up the spread.
Yo.
Oh, so cute.
Look at that. That's a full bleed right there, Candy.
Yeah,
look at that.
full bleed spreads, and I feel like I did they're only minorly off.
That's impressive. So okay, speaking of that, so in terms of self-publishing, like if you don't want to go into this, we don't have to. But if you can you tell me a little about what the process was like in terms of like self-publishing a book?
Well, just putting it together was the hard part. I mean, getting the taking the illustrations and figuring out where to put the text and
Oh, the text was hard.
yeah, putting the text on the page. So definitely doing a children's book is definitely different than self-publishing like a manuscript,
Yeah.
it was I just wanted to bang my head on the desk many times. Get it, and we had like a Dropbox file. It would be like 10 files of what do you think of this text? What do you think
Oh, yeah, you did. There's an entire folder dedicated to nothing but font, and I
font?
didn't realize how impactful font was. And
Y'all should have hollered at your boy.
We had to, and I was like, I didn't know you had to. We bought a font, like we purchased this, Bada Bing Pro.
Bada bing, bada
Yeah,
pro.
and because all the free fonts, we were like, we don't like those. They're not.
Well, and like you showed me 20 fonts, and you're like, which one? I was like, that one, and you're like, that's the one I like too. So we had to buy it.
That was the one we had to buy. So
This is the one that cost $200. Thanks, Kat.
we got the font we wanted, and that's the important part.
Hey, you
look,
got
there's
caught.
the Mountain Daddy and the princess.
Yeah, so just I never knew how much went into just choosing a font for the pages. Like that wasn't even something I thought about when writing a book. Oh, font,
Yeah.
And figuring out how to make it fit and how to make things up. Like, and we had all the pictures, and Kat drew these like beautiful big spreads, but the thing was like important faces would be in the middle, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I can't. We're not gonna. That's gonna be like one eye up here and one eye down here.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like So what I felt like I learned was, getting your idea for what you want for the picture, and we were on the same page. But then as we were publishing, or you were doing the publishing part, we realized like exactly what you said, like where do we put the font? Oh, by the way, not a rectangle, it's going to be a square. And so I would have to get like an old page and try to like warp it so you could get the image and the best parts of it, but make it fit.
That's
Yeah.
all. I kind of gives you new appreciation for like lettering and everything within a comic book and sequential art. You're like, okay, this is why they draw word bubbles like this and have these certain blocks.
And we started with we did actually start with thought bubbles, and then weren't lining up so that there wasn't like a cohesive thought bubble thing through all the things, and so we switched over to the like swoosh.
Sploosh.
On the back, like tied the same thing in throughout the book. So
you kept it consistent. That's what's important.
Consistent. It's all the little things. We learned a lot. I could like putting together a second book could be way easier.
we've learned so much in this first book.
So next book by December? No?
No,
yeah, you can fit it in. It's not like you haven't done a second job or anything.
To be honest, I mean, the writing it is the quick part, and then Kat has all with the drawing. I mean, that takes a lot more time. I mean, I wrote it in less than 30 minutes because I was like super inspired, bam, and I was like, all right. And then, I mean, drawing it out is a different story.
Yeah, and then I had told Josh, but so I drew everything out, I colored it, I really liked how it looked, I edited it a little in Photoshop, and then what did he do? He bought me a brand new tablet.
Yeah.
And I literally went through every single page, and I would like, I'm just gonna touch it up. No.
Just completely redraw.
Yeah, so I drew like I feel like I drew every picture twice. Cat attack.
Double cat attack, I guess.
Yeah. But I just kept thinking, like, when it gets in the book, I have to see it perfect.
What kind of tablet did you get?
Actually, I have it here. It's a Wacom.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I know.
Yeah, so you had to redo it. Yep, I get it.
The other tablet I had was older than Zoe, and that's kind of embarrassing. It was like super old.
Hey, you don't feel any shame.
So I had to. And I don't regret it. I'm so happy to see how the book turned out. It was worth it.
And Candy, you jumping so Photoshop alone, like that crap's expensive. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I went. I got the. It's like $10 a month or something for that.
Nice. Sorry, are you still paying for it, or did you cancel?
Yeah, I really, I don't want to be without it now. Now that
Yeah.
I've had a taste of the 2020 Photoshop, I was using like Photoshop 7. I
Yep.
think. Yeah.
We're from the same school, Candy. I remember. I
Yeah.
remember when it was just
No.
Photoshop and it didn't
Be
have numbers.
calm. Be calm,
When
Chad.
I was in college, I had Photoshop still from college, but I had upgraded to 7. And that's as far as I got. And then I was like, damn, that's expensive.
Mm.
So then, now with it's totally worth it. I love the content aware fill. That's like my favorite thing.
Oh, that thing is crazy. I feel like they put a demon in your computer and somebody sold their soul.
It's so much better than, like cutting and pasting backgrounds and trying to match them up. Yeah, it's magical.
Wait, so where did you have to use content aware fill on this?
Trying to make like some of the stuff that was smaller,
Uh-huh.
shrink down this way, and then it would be too short this way, and so then fill it in on the sides.
This is very telling of how good a job you did, because I can't tell where you had to do that. So it's good.
Oh, nice. Good job. Because
So
sometimes she would message me and she had mentioned like this and that about moving things around. I was like, I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but I'm going to try to manipulate this picture for you.
It all worked out. It all worked out.
so how did the kids feel about being in this book?
Oh, actually, Keelan was very excited when I showed him the book, and he's like, "That's me!" And then he was really excited the way he and this was actually like all Kat, like her idea. Like she snuck him in onto every page, like
Mhm.
you could see him,
Like the
popping
back of his head or something.
that and doing something in every page. And so he was excited to try to find himself on every page. And so I thought that was kind of neat.
That's really cool. Kat, you should do that for every single kid who gets a copy of the book.
Zoe was so excited. She was like, when we had like FaceTime, she was telling Candy that her son was in the page. Like, she's like, "That's Keelan." I'm like, "I know. She knows. That's her son. She knows." So it's super exciting for the kids. And then she did find herself. So we
Hey,
snuck her in. Yeah.
with her dad.
Yeah.
Did you find
Which
you?
was kind of subconscious. Huh, oh, you know what? She did. Oh, that's right. Because
Oh.
when we had it, yeah, there's one about them going to the artist alley. So
Uh-huh.
it's me awkwardly going like this to my own book.
Hey, that's a pretty good use.
Yeah, I need to redo my logo. Well, I have my really old logo, and my best friend doesn't want me to change it. So.
But now you have to redraw it because you have the tablet.
And I have the book. I should just get that one and.
Yeah, that's right. You can
do
actually.
it.
Oh, that's so meta.
Charlie's still on, but he did ask about Iron Man Jax being in the book, and so I just
It's pretty sweet.
Hey, he's in the new armor.
yeah,
Mhm.
Oh
in
man.
the Jaguar,
Yeah,
yeah. Except for we
that's a
all
nod to what the North Florida Ghostbusters.
what they
Yep.
are really appear to be, right?
Herbie the Love Bug.
You remember him?
I do.
Yeah.
It just looks like Herbie.
I mean, it's not. It's
Just
not.
it's just a car, and I like
Yes.
punch buggy when I see one.
Green ghost and a dog in a van.
Hey, there you go. Random. Just.
Who
I mean,
doesn't
we're in
love
a.
dogs?
You live in the beach area, Candy. So I mean, having those kind of vans are very
It's just a
common.
hippie in a car with his dog,
Yes.
snacking.
Ah. I guess.
Well, and then of course we have Fred and Elle
Oh, that's awesome.
workshop because we were like, well, who is the super duper armor maker in town?
That's definitely them. Dude, that one armor build they did was ridiculous.
The huge one?
Yeah. I was like, holy crap.
Actually, I think every giant armor build
Ted says, "Whoopie doo."
Whoopee whoopee.
Oh God,
Who's
I cannot
that?
tell you how honored I was. I was like, what?
In the gaming.
Of course.
Be doing that, right?
Although I'm kind of offended because I have nothing to do with convention. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly why you're in it.
Got you, Cat
Ah!
and
It's finally happened.
Candy.
Wearing a hot pink shirt. Is that
Hey,
a...
it'll help me sell some more merch. Thank y'all. But no, that's it. That I'm so honored. That sound like corny, but like that when I saw that, I was like, oh, I was like, they
Aw.
actually put me in the book. I was like, well, they didn't have to do that. I was like, that's so nice.
You even have a fighting game that you're showing. And
Oh,
he has like this weird move with some fire coming out,
I don't
whatever
know.
that
That
is.
move is everybody
Whatever.
does that. It's generic. You can't copyright it.
Thank
I've
you.
seen you do it
Earlier,
in
yeah.
real life. Look at that sauce. I love that so much. I gotta.
Our cosplay contest page. We had to have real.
I noticed Jenna and Peachy Peaches and Henry Steiner. I don't know who the. Is that like a rendition
It's like
of the Joker?
yes, he's actually someone I met on Instagram, Mike Light Cosplay.
Okay.
It just like I mentioned when I was trying to be more public with my art and stuff like that. He was actually someone that was super cool and reached out to me and he was just really supportive and friendly and so I was like, you know what? I need really cool cosplayers and I want to put you in my book and he might be watching now for all I know. He's super
I
cool.
like how much diversity was in this too.
Mm-hmm.
This is Roadrunner cosplay.
Oh, my bad. I thought it
Yep.
was Stonecutter.
Well, it's funny because Roadrunner met us in I want to see Lake City. They had like one of their first Comic Cons.
Uh-huh. That
And
Infinity Con, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was that. And one reason why I put him in, he was super cool. And Josh and him they were talking about doing a Voltron cosplay. So, so he's a really cool guy.
Oh, Heather King's here. She says, "Sexy ladies."
Hey, Heather.
Heather.
Hey.
Oh, we love. Well, I'm just so impressed and happy for y'all for doing this. Like, completing a book is a big deal. Like, how long have y'all been working on this now?
I feel like it would have been a year, and then COVID made it a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's still we are still on the timeline that we had planned for because so the funny thing is, I mean, I wasn't even thinking of doing a children's book, and then I got this email from a publisher saying, "Hey, we love your blog. You know, have you ever thought of doing a children's book?" And I was like, so I was so excited.
Yeah.
And oh my God, a publisher's contacted me. And I was like, oh no. And then I sat down and like I said, I mean, I was like, I have a children's book I haven't even thought about, but I was like, I feel that there is this niche that hasn't been filled because I had actually recently done a post for a company that does all these good night books.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And it followed like all what was happening, like,
do you want me to do the Samuel Jackson version of your book? I'll do it.
We're like, you know, going to the airport, going to the museum, we're going to, it's like everything you know, kids like to know what's going on and all these different things. And so I had used that book when we were going to take an airplane ride. And I was like, okay, and we're going to look at this book and hey, look. And it went through all the steps of going through, getting on an airplane and everything. And I was like, you know what, if a kid's going to go to a convention, they don't know what's going on there. And so I thought about going through all the things that you're going to see at a convention because I mean people who haven't been to, they don't know. I mean,
don't know what to expect.
Parents could check out the book, you know, like, oh, okay, so you know, like what goes on there besides you know, people wandering around looking at vendor stuff, you know, whatever, you know. It's like, okay, so there's gaming, there's cosplay, there's the contest, there's, you know, other stuff going on.
Well, I love how you guys captured I want to say like the child's perspective. I mean, it is a children's book, but literally, it's kind of like what you're saying, Candy. Like it is a guide. Like if you are a parent and
Mhm.
you're taking your kid for the first time, or this is even your first time going to a convention, you get to see, okay, this is kind of like how a child is going to view these things. This is how a kid's going to be like, oh my God, look at all these costumes. Look at this like stuff. Because there's stuff you buy at a convention that you don't typically find like at Target and
Yeah.
Amazon. And there's people you meet there that you don't typically see. Like there's so many different things, but the way a child views all these things is radically different than if you take like a 50-year-old like first time at a comic convention. It's like, yeah, man, my knees hurt and I'm tired. Uh, for a kid, it's completely different, and I think it does a really great job like conveying that. Especially like his face every time was like, I know you can't see my face right now, but it's like oh, like just wonderments.
Wonderments.
Excited.
So in
But
yeah, go
so I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, my bad.
So yes, so the publisher, and we'll go back to where I was so excited, and then I wasn't excited. He goes, and then I read the book, and I'm like, oh, I already have an idea. Here's my idea. Here's my book. Oh, we're gonna publish this, right? And then she was like, yeah, that's such an awesome idea. I love it. Here's the contract. Here's all the money.
Oh.
Publish the book, and I was like, wow. So excited when she contacted me. I ran on Facebook. I'm like, oh, publisher contacted me. I'm so excited, and wah, wah, wah. And then I was like, okay, well, still, this sounds good. I can write this book and turn it over to them, and they'll turn it into a book. And that's when I started thinking, I can't have an illustrator do this that I don't know. That's when I contacted them, and we got together, and then I contacted them. We're like, okay, well, that's like, $5,000 off or whatever,
Yeah.
We don't have to, and I was like, okay. And then so we went and we negotiated several contracts, before we did the GoFundMe. And then I was like, okay, it seemed it would have been a lot easier to collect the picture.
I'm sure, yeah.
Hand it over and be like, make me a book.
Yeah.
That's not how it went.
Yeah. Well, that's not even you, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it would have turned out completely different. And we even, like halfway through this, I was like, this is really hard. But I'm glad that I am doing it. Like I said, I'm going to go bang my head over here now and come back, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Good. Kat, are you going to stay on? Are you going to keep working with Candy? Or do you hate her now? Like,
what? No. Well, it's funny because, like I mentioned, I had illustrated a book for someone else before, and they had gone through a publisher and had it whatever. Well, actually, I remember now. She had ordered some and they went bankrupt. I remember that. So we did get a few books, and I remember we did like one signing. And I mean, from my perspective, I just want to do the art. I really enjoyed drawing it, and it is time. It does take time. So the fact that Candy invested all this time in something, editing and the font and the logistics, and I mean even the legality of certain things, that takes a lot of time. Like we have two full-time jobs in a sense, drawing it and making it into an actual book. So I want to make more books, but I can't do what she did. That's a lot of work. And so I'm just happy that you enjoy it and that you made it into what it is now, and I hope that we can be that team to make it happen again.
Yeah, we definitely are. Like I said, I spent so much time learning how to do this. I can't let that just go away. Use it.
Yeah.
Use it.
It's funny. I mentioned this to Botter, who's a piece of garbage, but also mentioned.
Oh, Botter.
And he actually said, he spoke about you specifically, Kat. He was like, "Oh, word, that's dope." Yeah, Kat's always had like art skills. I remember when I was like working at Mosh for security. Yeah, and like he mentioned about like you drawing even back then.
He knows the individual that caught me drawing.
Oh,
that's really funny. I forgot about that. We were all security guards.
It's such a small world.
Yeah, I remember. Actually, it's really small. Me, him, and a few friends went. We went to Riverside when Logan had an art gallery, or there was a gallery. He had an art opening for his the
Wait,
skeleton
Logan's the Wacky?
Mario. Yes, we were
Oh, yeah,
security
the
guards.
skeleton. I remember that book. Oh my god.
That was on Five Point Strip. There was an art gallery there. It's not there anymore. And I went in. I remember seeing his art. I'm like, this is so cool. Years go down the road, I meet Logan, and now isn't that weird?
That's crazy because that's one of the reasons why Logan got pulled in the game in the first place. Because I remember he was
Oh,
working on that book when we were in school together.
is
'Cause he was
that
like,
weird?
yeah. Hello, kitty cats. Heather says, I'm so excited about this book. Ted says, is there a sequel plan like my first time at GAM? I give you free
Oh
license to use
wow.
the term GAM, Candy. You will have
All
no
right,
legal.
yeah, we were like I said, we try to be cautious about.
If you want a book that'll sell only one copy, make one about going to GAM. There you go.
So our next one is gonna be about like making my first cosplay.
Oh,
Mhm.
that would be excellent. Oh.
That'd be cute.
About putting it together, learning how to sew, using a glue gun, making some armor.
Oh my! Please talk to me about when y'all are doing this book. Like, if there's anything I can do to help, like just lean on me. Just lean. I don't care. I want to help. If you want to own it though completely and not, I get that too. So I'm
Oh,
gonna shut up.
doing the book too, it was like I don't even know what I need help with. I was like, I have no idea what I'm going into. I'm not sure what we need help with. So and it's it was at the point where I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I just got on. I know too. Like I tried to learn InDesign, so I had a brief.
Oh
Uh,
God, bless your heart.
yeah, I watched some tutorials. I did the trial, and at the end of the trial, I was like, nope, I'm gonna do this all in Photoshop. I was like, I have a good background in Photoshop already, and so I did the whole thing on Photoshop.
You
And
have no
then,
idea how proud I am of you right now, Candy. You have no idea. Let's see. So what do you want to say in closing about this book and this adventure that you've had in terms of creating this story for kids and for honestly, this is very much a parent's book as well.
yeah, I am so glad that we did it, and
Yeah.
finished it, and not just finished it, but finished it within the timeline that we gave everyone in our GoFundMe. Sad it was going to come out in October, and I was like, we are doing this. We are getting it done in October. And there were days when I was just like, today's a book day. I'm just going to sit on, and I would, spend and because it was learning it as I went, it would be like 2 hours on one page trying to get
Yeah.
it to line up with the full spread and the full bleed, and I was just like, ah. And then I would like have it just right, and then I'd send it to Kat and be like, can you fill in the sides a little bit, because it looks kind of weird, and then so we would go back and forth trying to get it just right, and 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 then the one thing that really worried me too was switching over. So when we switched it all to PDF, all the colors
Oh,
look.
that's a moment of fear.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh man, is this whole thing gonna look completely washed out and sad? Because we really based it on, bright red,
Yeah.
yellow, like the colors. And so I was really happy to see the final result and see that the colors still look
Yeah.
really good.
Side note, I even like that you have like that dot pattern, kind of a throwback to comic book
Oh,
style. Like that was a nice
yeah.
touch.
It was funny,
On the cover
and it was Kat's idea to do. I really love how she did
Oh, the back.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
clever.
the back. I thought that was really cool.
I'm glad you didn't put his butt in it.
He probably would have
I
enjoyed
mean,
that though.
yeah, he would have been okay with it. You can make a scratch and sniff one next time, and
That's a great idea.
and you
It's
can
funny.
smell like Keelan's farts.
No,
No?
He would be so excited.
one of my big challenges is like it's like such a niche book kind of that a lot of people might not be looking for it, and
Yeah.
so like our challenge is getting it out to sort of the geek nerd comic book community that it exists.
Yeah.
Because, not when you if you search, like, I'm going to my first Comic-Con on Amazon, our book is the only thing that pops up, and the thing right next to it is what to expect when you're expecting. Pops up every time I search it, and like none of the other books relate. Like,
That's so
there's
funny.
not really another book, and even just finding like the categories to put it in. I was like, okay, stories in verse, because it is basically like a long poem, and then there's 1,000 categories, so it's like, where the heck does this book fit in those categories?
God, and this is not an easy time to get the word out about.
Yeah.
If this would have been non-COVID, you could be hitting so many different events where it's like, oh
Yes.
yeah, this is the
And
book.
that was our we were doing like our book release at WasabiCon, and we had a
Yeah.
sign-in. We had, so that kind of crashed all our event plans. So hopefully we'll get to do those in the future.
Well, like, in all honesty, something like this isn't tied to. I used to say this a lot to students, and whenever, like, even like people having ideas on the team, like, just because you have the idea or here's when you made it doesn't mean that this is the time. Like, this is the only moment in time where it exists.
Yeah.
Like, you could push this thing next year when COVID is like in a different scenario, and it would still be just as relevant as it is this year. It's just that for you, it's kind
Better
of like, yeah, we
timing.
did that forever ago, but to everybody else, they're like, oh, it's our first time seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my Katie, the one that was drawn into the book.
Mhm.
She was a bit of a cheerleader through the whole. I asked her a lot of advice because she had self-published 2 books, and she, I was getting kind of down about, oh, the conventions have been canceled, and she was like, well, this book is going to show the kids what they're going to get to see when the
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
that. So this shows them what they have to look forward to.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, that's good. Not, oh, this graph is canceled.
Yeah.
Actually, this is also a really good opportunity for any other of the events that typically would happen. Because you see, like, everybody who's trying to do something online, they are hungry and scraping for any kind of content that they can put up there. So you're like, hey, I have this going to a convention book that nobody else has. Maybe you would like for me to talk about it, like how you're doing like the live reading at WasabiCon. Like, I don't see any reason why any other online convention anywhere in the U.S. shouldn't be like, oh yeah, we'll have you on so you can talk about this. Like, this is great.
I was thinking of that. Contact me, hey. I was warming up to the whole idea of the virtual stuff. I was like, all right, this isn't so bad. I got free drink refills,
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to worry about getting an Uber afterwards, so that's nice.
Yep. Just fall over on your couch.
Exactly. I know it's kind of boring for you, Kat.
Worked out. Good.
I still got my salsa, guys. Don't worry.
Yes. I wish we could go into. Well, can we?
No.
Those are good. We have so many cat stories.
Oh, I'm so glad that we have cat stories, but no.
I'll tell you later, Kenny, about the time where we couldn't find Cat.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not even.
Yeah. You got plenty of. You could just do book. Well, both y'all have enough stories on your own, to be honest.
Oh, to put another book.
To do a series.
We were joking. What is that movie called? Bad Moms?
Yes.
No, but that would be funny.
Is that what you would do, like Nerd Moms, and then like, here's like they're really like
Nerd Moms at conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to say before we close this stream? Where can they buy the book?
Check out the book.
Yeah. Amazon. And please leave a review if you get a book, because it helps.
Yes, leaving a review would be awesome.
5 stars.
Yeah. I will be buying my copy tonight. The URL that you have, tinyurl.com/firstcomiccon. Are you using that URL for tracking or anything like that, or you just needed a short URL?
A lot easier because the Amazon link was like 3 lines.
So long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just did that one. It's seem to
Oh,
let me.
Heather wants to know. Important question: is Candy wearing pants?
Haha.
I am.
Oh,
Because
sorry, Heather.
I had to jump up and, go
Grab the babes.
small child. I did have to wear pants.
Oh well, Heather. Sorry. Looks like we're not going to get a ton of views. So that's how that goes. Where can they find each of you?
Geekmama.com, and all of my social is So Geek Mama. SEW. So
Facebook, That Nerdy Mom. Instagram, That Nerdy Mom 24.
Wonderful. And are you guys going to do any other? Are you doing the live stream, the live reading on Saturday?
Mhm.
Are you guys planning on doing any other kind of like live or virtual events around the book, or even just like talking about process or anything like that? Or
I don't have anything else planned yet.
yes.
Not yet.
Few things yet, but I'm sure there will be something in the future.
Yep.
So follow them so you know when it's going to happen. See their kids grow up and fall in love over the next years, and that blossom into its own book.
Oh man, you should have showed him the picture of when Keelan and Zoe met. They met outside your shop, in your shop. It was in your costume shop.
Do you
God,
have
yeah,
that, Candy?
that is the
Zoe was
cutest
dressed-
picture.
Zoe was dressed as Supergirl and Keelan was Superboy.
Is this
Or-
like Mandarin Minicon or one of those things?
Yes,
or?
it was Mandarin Minicon before we had any of this. We just
Man.
sat them on a couch and took a picture of them together as babies.
Yes.
Aw.
And Zoe is a little bit older, and Keelan is a total baby, and
Giant baby.
It's the cutest thing. And actually, that's one of the things that made me think to contact Kat, because I was like, oh wait, hey, that girl,
Yeah.
We can get some play dates out of this. This will work.
we both dress our babies as super.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for doing this. I wish you nothing but success. Stay on as I close this down.
All right,
But,
thanks for having us on.
No,
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is like
No.
the first thing we've kind of done, except the other day, so this is awesome.
I'm impressed with your progress, Kat. You've come a long way in your life.
In my live stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
My setup is way better.
I was watching the other stream and I was like, Candy has the most patience in the
I'm
universe.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am making my way up.
All the way up.
All the way up.
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody in the stream. Thank you all for sharing and supporting this. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.